Hello everyone! Welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I am broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. Hello Exie! Exie is already in the chat with me! It was so cute to see that message pop up like a minute ago. How are you, Exie? Hope you're doing great. Today is Wednesday, so we're going to do a lucky dip, which is a sort of art challenge where I have a spreadsheet that lists all of my random art supplies. I use random.org to choose 4 of those, and then I use my drawing reference books to draw a picture with those 4 items. Oh, good, Exie is doing alright. Excellent. So happy to hear it, as always. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm feeling kind of tired because I've been using the Marvel Move app when I do my run in the morning, and they finally fixed the chases feature. So I was doing a Hulk run, you know, like the Hulk from Marvel, and so the chases finally work. So I was chased by the Hulk twice, and I am extremely tired from that. So, but I'm in good spirits. My body is like, but emotionally I'm good. So thank you, thank you. So let me introduce the items that I got today. It's very interesting. The first thing I got was this pencil again. So this is like the 3rd time. It has to be the 3rd time in the last couple months. I haven't like actually gone back and checked, but I'm pretty sure we got this pencil last week at the very least. So I knew exactly which pencil it was this time. I didn't have to look it up. It's the Carandash. Oh, it's not focusing on the pencil. Come on. There we go. Carandash Graphite pencil. It's just a nice lightweight pencil with a nice little grippy things on it. And HB. The lead is HB, so it's right in the middle, which means it's the most versatile lead. And yeah, so it's just a decent pencil. Sometime, you know, in the past I'd be like, let me get something else. But I'm like, I'm not going to waste time. So I'm like, fine, I'll use it again. Yeah. It is scary because it gets louder. So I have it on my headphones. You know, it's like playing a story. And I have it on my headphones, my running headphones. And the Hulk gets louder. He gets closer, and so it gets louder and louder, and he's like, oh, the whole time. And he caught me the 2nd time, and I was like, oh, it's because I was so tired, I think. The 2nd time I couldn't run fast enough for long enough. You have to increase your speed by a minimum of 10% and maintain that for 1 whole minute, which is actually, today I found out, a lot harder than it seems, especially after doing it once earlier in the run. So yeah, I am very tired. I'm very tired from running away from the Hulk. I'm so glad they fixed the chases though, because that feature has been broken since I started using this, since Marvel Move came out like 3 or 4 months ago, I think, or something. Maybe it was only 2 months. Either way, it's been broken from the beginning, so I'm glad it finally works, because it's like adding a different kind of, I don't like doing speed work by itself because it's just so boring. But if the Hulk is chasing me or something is happening like that, then it's like I'm motivated to run fast for a little while. Okay, so that was the first item. The second item is this Copic multiliner pen. Black ink, 0.05 millimeters in, I guess you'd call it width. So it's just a nice fineliner style pen with a teeny tiny little tip. So this is one of those ones where you have to be fairly light-handed to protect the tip, because if it gets pushed too hard and bent, or I've actually had it where I accidentally pushed it into this metal part and stuff, and it's just like, you can't save it. So gotta be nice and gentle with these tiny pens. And the next thing, so this is pretty fun. I feel like maybe I've gotten this before, but definitely not in a long time. It's King Art is the brand, and it's a set of 4 brush pens. Let's see here, I can show you the colors of the ends of the pens here. So It's just, I wrote warms because it's just a group of warm colors. There's like red, a red, orange, orange, and yellow. So this will be fun. I've definitely used this for something in the past, but I have not used it in a long time. It says 4 rich colors, superior blendability. So that'll be interesting if I remember to try it. Superior blendability, try blending the colors. Flexible tapered point tip, fine, medium, bold strokes, mess-free watercolors. Oh, it says it's watercolor. Cool. I'm going to read what else it says. It says, works like a pen, acts like a brush. Brush pens move effortlessly to create both thin and thick lines. Our pens won't streak, bleed, or smudge. And the colors are vibrant, light, fast, and non-toxic. Perfect for any project that needs a brush without the mess. So I guess I'll try some water on top of it, since the final item is an actual tube of watercolor paint. Let's see if it'll... You want to focus for me, camera? No? There. I think we've gotten this one before too, but not recently, not too recently. Rembrandt brand, and the color of naphthol red bluish. So this will be nice because red is my favorite color. So yeah, we'll see how these work with water. Of course, this will work fine, but we'll see. Do these move if you put a little water on them? Okay. So first things first, let's do a little swatch sheet. I'm using my watercolor book that I gave up on, and then I was too lazy to get a new watercolor book, so I'm still using this one. Alright, whatever, I'll just use this one up. Because it costs money too to buy a new one, so let's not let it go to waste. Both lazy and, what is the word? Prudent. Or pragmatic. Either word, I think, applies. So I looked up other watercolor notebooks or sketchbooks, but I didn't place an order, so I could just use this one up. And then I'll have to buy one because I don't have any more. Although I do have pads of paper, so maybe I'll use those instead. Oh, frugal. Thank you, thank you. Resourceful, frugal. Thank you, and hello, Wolf. Hello, hello. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for those wonderful words. Yeah, but also lazy. Don't forget lazy, because when it came time to like try to buy it, I'm like, forget it. I don't feel like doing it. So, being lazy saves me money. And anyway, I have this huge stockpile of art papers, so I really should not buy more, even if this paper is not what I'd prefer it to be. So let's use up the stuff I have first. So I'm swatching this pencil, even though I've gotten it 3 times recently. But it's a nice pencil, like I don't mind. It's very, I don't know, it's like a reliable pencil. And I think what makes it stand out, because so many, you know, I find that it's pretty easy to just buy an art pencil. It doesn't really matter the brand or anything. They're all pretty good. This one has these cool colors, so this one stands out because it has a nice aesthetic. I really love this combination of the pink and blue. Oh, yeah. Time to de-stress. Castlevania. Is it... So I know there was an anime. Is this something else? I saw some episodes of an anime a long time ago. Pre-pandemic, back when there was an anime club locally. Okay, let's swatch this pen. Oh, man. The tiny, tiny nib on the thirsty watercolor paper. Yeah, I gotta move slower, because if I do it really fast, I'll show you what I'm talking about because it's so small. I bet it's not really showing up. I've got to move slowly if I want to get a nice dark solid line, because the watercolor paper is thirsty and the pen tip is tiny. So that one dark zigzag is because I moved slowly. And then you can see when I moved it really fast on purpose, like hardly any ink got onto the page at all. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, I've seen a few episodes. So, have you played the games too? I haven't played any of the games. I don't like scary games, monsters. I've seen some people play them. Of course, I've got some friends that like, that's like one of their favorite things and stuff, but how far are you in it? And also, how long is the anime? Is there multiple seasons? Sorry, I keep asking you a bunch of questions. I'm trying to get this open. Let's see. I'm going to use a little ruler to get this. There. Put that back. Guess I'll get these all out of this box and set the box to the side for now. Ooh, these have a very nice... It's got a very nice matte texture. It doesn't, of course, not really going to show up on camera, but this is not the texture I expected. It's very nice. Okay. So I'm going to put these in red, orange, yellow order. So these two look almost the same, especially on the camera, but in real life you can tell the difference if you hold them next to each other. So I guess I'll do some dry, then make some patches to try some water on them, and then I'll also try, because it said excellent blendability, or what did it say? It said superior blendability, so we'll try blending it too. Once again, the thirsty paper, it doesn't feel like these are particularly dry in and of themselves, but the thirsty paper just makes it end up being a dry brush effect. It looks really cool when I do this individual swirlies instead of trying to do a patch of color. Whoa, this one's like neon. Wow. I would not guess it from this cap color. It's way more vibrant. It almost hurts my eyes. It's so bright. And then the yellow. This is also the most dry one on this paper, at least. Yeah, not really good on watercolor paper for filling in unless when I put water on it, it spreads it around. So let's well, I can just start with this. Let's make a patch of each color to put some water on in a second. This is very autumny, except for the neon. The neon orange is not very autumn foliage, but the rest of the colors are. Okay, let's try some water. See how do they move about on the page with some water. It looks like they do. Oh. Not a lot. Yeah, this one doesn't really respond that much. Yeah, it does move the pigment about when I put some water on it, but it's not so much that... Oh, it's bleeding through my picture from last time. Not so much that I'd go out of my way to use water with these. It's definitely not designed to be like watercolor in a pen, even though it mentioned that on the box. But let's try blending. This is superior blendability. And maybe they work a bit better on not watercolor paper. That's another reason why I feel like these are not designed to be watercolor pens. They don't call themselves that, but they wouldn't be so dry brushy on this paper. It does look cool layering them like this, like a cool sunset. This orange is so out of place though, I gotta say. The reds with the yellow, they look like they belong together, but the orange is like, boom! The orange is very flamboyant. So it's like these ones are autumn foliage, and this one is like rave. There. They do look nice together when you... Not adding more. It's fun to do this. Adding more colors on top. Keep blending. Well, I think with the way they're working on this paper, what I've liked the most using these brush pens is how they look doing lines rather than patches. Although this looks, especially on the camera, I'm looking over on my screen, on my monitor over here, this looks pretty cool. Like a flame or something. Okay, last thing is to swatch the paint. Oh my goodness, it's stuck. Okay, I need, oh, maybe if I use my towel. I don't like tubes that much because this kind of thing happens and they become separated in the tube. And when you're trying to open a stuck tube, you just naturally grip this part of the body of the tube harder, which means once you finally open it, it goes bloop. So, because you're squeezing. Okay, it didn't do it that time. I do my best to be like, no matter how tight the lid is, don't squeeze with this hand. I did it. Okay, put a little dollop. Don't need that much at all, especially for such a tiny sheet of paper. Now we won't even need to touch that tube anymore. So first, we'll try a fairly strong application where the brush is just damp and not like sopping wet with water. Okay, yeah. You gotta get more water to really enjoy the watercolor. I mean, it makes sense. It's watercolor. But I just wanted to see what it's like. There we go. That's more like it. So nice. I love this color. And I've got my favorite shape of brush tip, which is the round. So as you can see, you can make like a big patch like this really easy, but you could also, you hold it like this, and you can just get these teeny tiny, super thin lines if you want. And it spreads really nicely. I put some extra water on that really dry patch that I did first, and it just, whoop, spreads right out. Okay, something that maybe it's not necessarily a problem, but I don't really enjoy it when I'm having to sit around waiting for the page to dry. So I'm going to try not to do too much watercolor at least at the beginning. If I'm going to do a bunch of watercolor, I'll do it at the end of this stream so that we don't have to sit around waiting for it to dry. So, you know, before being able to move on to the other stuff. So, let me just see if this... It does move a little bit. This is the Copic pen. The ink does move when I put water on it. So I'll just keep that in mind when I do apply this watercolor, however I end up doing that. Okay, so now it's time. Move my swatch over a little bit. What is our pose this time? So I'm using the same book I've been using for months. We're like, what is that, a fifth of the way through? It's called Pozu Shu, which is Pose Collection, Katana Danshi, which is swordsmen. So, as you might expect, it's just a collection of photos of swordsmen doing stuff. So, we did this one last time. So let's do this one. So we could just do this figure here, but there are so many pictures, so let's keep moving forward. Let's do a new picture each time. So let's do this one. Need my clippies. And I guess I'll have to get my paint can as usual to hold the book open. I'll clip it first. Oh, it's not bad though, even without the paint can. Boop. My nice can of house paint. Okay, I do have to move this a little bit. Come out from under the book. There you go. Okay, so this long format, maybe I'll just focus on this area instead of trying to make this, it's like, instead of trying to make this fit into this format and then there would be a bunch of blank space. Let's zoom in. So even maybe just like half of this person's body here and then maybe the head of this person here. Yeah, we'll do that. It's so actually quite nice when I get a pencil because that's what I'm used to sketching with. So it makes the art challenge of the Lucky Dip very easy. At least in the beginning stage. Okay, so I'm just gonna get the overall sort of shapes and angles laid down. The angle of the sword is so that you're mostly looking directly at the blade, like the thin edge. So it's just this little streak of light almost right here. And the hand goes up like that. Oh, Exy, I want to ask you real quick. Because I saw your post and it said Loki spoilers, mild spoilers. So I was like, I want to look, but I don't want to look. Is it from this season? Like, should I wait? I don't know if I'm behind an episode or not. So, should I wait until I watch this week's episode? Because I want to see. I want to see what you posted, but I don't want any spoilers. So, I want to wait if that's the best thing to do. I really like how it's so interesting right here. How this person's arm is the same angle almost as this person's sleeve. And then the point of it, or I guess the top edge of the sleeve points down at this person's face, which is it's really nice because it sort of brings you around in a circle. So let's see, actually it comes down. Okay, that's about right. And it's like this triangle shape. There. And the other sleeve is right there too. It's so small, the image is so small, it's hard. It's hard to see exactly what's going on, but I guess if I just have the basics, that's good enough. Okay, now adding some details. Okay, I'm looking at the corner of this sleeve is about the same height as where the kimono ends, well, where the kimono is cut off by the obi. So we'll use that as a reference point. And then this sleeve comes out like that. Okay, now for the face. So first I'm just going to mark what looks like the center of the face and the angle. And here's where the ear is. And use that to try to build the rest of the features. I'm concentrating very hard because this face is tiny. It's very hard to see. I think that's, at the very least, that's good enough. What are you doing, Aoife? Aoife's under the table over here like usual, and she was laying down but chewing the ball at the same time. It's very lazy. Very lazy playtime. Alright. That's pretty good. Okay, moving on. More details elsewhere. Shape of the arm as it comes out of the sleeve. And then the tsuba on the sword is partially covered by this person's hakama knot. So I guess I gotta move this person closer actually. There we go. I see, I have this whole hand is too far away because the rest of the hand is also covered by the same knot, but I'll just improvise. So that I don't have to try to redo all of what I've already done. Just work with it. Okay, something I haven't drawn that is here is the other hand resting on the leg. And the leg being up and supporting the person's posture. There. I think that's pretty good. Let's move on to the pen, this teeny tiny pen where I must ink slowly. So it's nice because we still have basically a whole half hour. I have to ink nice and slowly to get any decent lines on this thirsty watercolor paper. Yes, that's part of what's interesting about doing a lucky dip, because choosing a substrate that works with some of the materials doesn't mean it works with all of the materials, and so the problem solving is not just how do I use all the materials together, but how do I literally get the materials to work. It's nice having a small pen though, because I can do some nice fine detail work, which is what I really like doing with my regular artwork. So often I get supplies where I'm like, well, just make a kind of silhouette thing or something, because it's all kind of big materials. Man, I have to move the pen even slower. I wonder if it's drying it out as I work. What are you doing, Aoife? Aoife's getting up now. You're finding a better spot? She's looking at me. Man, it is drying out. It's getting harder and harder to get anything out of it. Come on, Ben, you can do it. Well, I'm glad I started on the area that is most important to me. as a viewer of this image, which is the face, because these lines on the clothing are so sparse and broken. Trying to move so slow, but it's not enough. So now I know. Don't use... Oh, for some reason it really liked this part and made a nice dark line right here. But don't use a teeny tiny multi-liner pen on watercolor paper. On the sword, though, I'm going to purposefully not ink some areas, because especially here at the end, it's very bright. Like, all you see is the shine coming off the sword, so to sort of indicate that, I'm gonna let some more of the paper show through than with other areas of ink. Wow. Well, this is half of it inked. Getting so dry that on this line I had to just do it again because it didn't put any ink down at all. Oh, I just got my fit meter goal. That's what that little beeping was. Oh, welcome back. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's very hard to do this because the pen does not want to write. Actually, I had a question for you. You posted on Discord the Loki light spoilers or something. Is it something that I can look at now, or should I wait until the... I don't know if I've seen the most recent episode. Or was it... Like, I've seen the last week's episode. Would I be okay to look at it? Oh, it's really hard to see what's going on right here. Oh, if I hold it up. Oh, wow. I held it up so that it's at an angle, and I can see there's actually a totally different strap right here. Goes like that. Cool. Let me think, and I'm going to say it without, I'm going to do my best to say it so like no spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen anything yet. Okay. I think this will be good. Loki learned how. Loki learned how. Hopefully that lets you know without being any spoiler to anybody else. Yes. I think that's good. Okay, I think maybe if I hold it at an angle again. Yeah, it looks like the front of the kimono just comes straight up here. This. Boop. Oh, good. Yay. Then I'll look at it when I'm done. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to when stuff comes out. Because it's been a really good season, so like at first I was like, what's going on? I was a little confused with the first few episodes. Then they started pulling it together and I was like, oh. So, okay. We have about 20 minutes left, and I have these 4 brush pens plus the watercolor to use, and I'm saving the watercolor for last so that it can dry off stream. Although it didn't take too long for this to dry, but still, save it to the end. So that means these are next. Doshio. What I really liked was how they were, so maybe I'll just use them to emphasize these black ink lines or something. Yeah, let's just do that. That'll be fun. And we'll make it like a rainbow. Okay, I don't know if that makes sense, but I'll like, maybe see what I am gonna do. So like just moving through the colors, still adding to these ink lines, but I'll just keep rotating through the colors as I go along. Ah, yeah, this is working how I hoped. I'll do the same thing what I did for the ink on the sword blade, which is not put marker on everything so that it looks like light shining. And then I'll go back. So I'll go back and forth through these colors. And hopefully layer over all of the black ink lines along the way. Oops, missed that one. Totally off the line. Not even close. Yeah, maybe I won't do every single line because I like the idea of not putting extra on all the little lines in the ear that I did right there, because then I think that brings a bunch of attention to the ear, and like, why do we need to look at the ear so badly or whatever, so. Yeah, maybe the facial features too, I won't add these extra colors to. I know! I've been thinking the same thing. Then I'll just have to watch it over and over again. I have not watched, so season 1 of Loki, I have not watched it as many times as Moon Knight, but I did do a similar thing where I watched it in Japanese, and oh my gosh, one of my favorite voice actors plays Loki's voiceover in Japanese, so that was awesome, and I just watched the whole thing with the Japanese dub of Loki. And then I watched it again when I did the Inktober retreat last October. I watched Loki, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk as I was working through, I was trying to do 25 ink drawings in 1 week. And so like I started to need like a little bit of distraction from just doing these ink drawings. So I've watched Loki season 1 quite a few times, so I will just do the same thing with the season 2. Unless they somehow botch the ending, but I doubt it. They've done such a good job so far. This is really fun. This is kind of therapeutic, just switching from color to color. These 2 reds are barely distinguishable. My book is going all over the place. I could see that though. 'Cause normally, like, I don't know, I love with like Japanese media, if it's a voiceover character and not like an in-person, like an actual human being character, then it's like always, whether it's the game or the anime or the like drama CD where it's just vocal, it'll always be the same actor. And I really, really appreciate that. And ever since I was a kid, I've always hated it. The one I remember the most is Aladdin, the Disney animated movie Aladdin. They made the made-for-TV cartoon version, and it didn't have Robin Williams as the voice of Genie, and I could tell, even though I was a little kid, I could tell it wasn't the same person. It was hugely disappointing. So, I really appreciate having the same voice actor. So if a character shows up in a game and they're originally from an anime, they have the same. It's not always the case for drama CDs. Characters that were in drama CDs first don't always end up being the same in the anime, but so what I'm getting at is I totally get that. I totally get not wanting to hear a different one. But since Japanese dub for Loki, for the character Loki, is one of my favorite, Hirakawa Daisuke, it's one of my favorite voice actors. So I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was like, I'm gonna die. This is the best. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Okay, I am ready to add this watercolor paint. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start here and fan it out. So I'm gonna make the page wet first and then put the watercolor on, and then use the brush to drag it out across the page. So first making the whole area that I want the paint to go on damp. Although I've got to remember that this watercolor paper is not the best, so if I make it too wet, then it struggles. Oh, a little bit of the marker's moving with me. Okay, that's probably out far enough. So now let's get some paint. And the stuff I want to be the most vibrant and the thickest application, I'll put close to the center. Okay, that's probably enough of the actual paint. So now let's bring it into all the damp areas of the page. And get a little bit more water. Just keep getting water and adding, and yeah, we're getting some really nice organic, it almost looks like a coral reef. It's just organic spreading of the paint into the wet areas. I'm working this stuff in the center. Yeah, isn't it awesome? So it's like anytime Tom Hiddleston is in a thing and it gets a Japanese dub, it's always Daisuke Hirakawa, Hirakawa Daisuke. It's so nice. It's that same consistency that Japan has that I wish that American media would get. I want the same voice actor. In my mind, in my otaku mind, their voice is their soul. So when it's a different voice, I'm like, no, they have a different soul now. It just doesn't feel right. So, yeah. It's just an otaku thing that I have, though. It's not really that big of a deal, but... Okay, I added a little bit more paint to fill in right here. But I really like how it's spread. I really wanted this sort of just organic. Yeah, it was guided, but then letting it do the rest of the work itself, whatever it wants to do. So we're just going to do that on the bottom half in this last 10 minutes, 9 minutes. Oh, Orlando Bloom too. Aw, that's okay. I've found actually that people in Japan tend to just adjust to wherever they are. So when they're in, say they're visiting America, they'll use the typical American first name, last name. Well, I mean first name, last name. Given name, surname, that makes more sense. Given name, surname. And like when I was first learning Japanese and I'm like, what do I do? Do I call myself Hutchins Denise? And everybody's like, no, don't worry about it because everybody in Japan knows. So you could just say your name the way you're used to or whatever. And so yeah, I wouldn't call it disrespectful. I don't think you're being disrespectful. Although I think perhaps it is respectful of the culture of origin, I suppose you could say. I often switch. As an otaku, I just often switch. Sometimes I'll say Daisuke Hirakawa, Hirakawa Daisuke. For some reason, sometimes it comes to my mind the one way or the other way. I don't know. I think it just depends on... Like if I was reading an article and then it was written in English, so of course it often is written with the given name first. And so if I had just read an article, then that's the way I'll think of it. But if I just read like a Japanese article or was more likely to be listening because my listening skills are better than my reading skills. Reading is very slow for me. But my listening skills are pretty good. So if I'm listening to some video or something and they talk about him, or he's like a guest on the show or something. Okay. Hirakawa Daisuke-san, or whatever. So then that'll be my default for a while. Right? That's one of the things I didn't realize would happen when I started learning Japanese. Because I just did it because I'm an otaku. I got into anime and I was like, this is the best thing ever. I want to be as close to it as possible. I want to watch any anime without subtitles or whatever. And then like, whoa, my mind is being blown left and right by the culture part. Name, order, and now I have a minor in Japanese studies from Boise State University, so I also have done deep dives into Japanese culture, different subject matters, and yeah, and it's so interesting because we humans are so creative. We're so creative. We create all kinds of different ways of being and doing and thinking. And then the more I learn, the more ideas I get. And it's just, I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful to be creative and to share our creativity. All right. We still have 5 minutes, but I think I could call it good. Or maybe, what do you think? Oh, I know. I'll add a little shading. Because I think I can avoid the paint. I'll add a little shading with the pencil. Because we have a few more minutes. I was like, I used everything. I can go back to the pencil. Add a little shading, like, oh look, I missed some lines here. Let's add some lines too. There. Boop. Let's not be done yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's so nice when I get a pencil and a small pen. Maybe if it wasn't this small. Maybe it's a slightly bigger one, but... but it's always good. No matter what I get, it's good because it's some sort of practice. Some sort of way of... it's a challenge. Good to be challenged. Ooh, trying to get the pencil on its side, but it's hard because of the gutter here. I can't really get the pencil on its side. It's still just kind of drawing with the tip. Ah, here I can do it better. Oh yeah. The pencil does work nice on this watercolor paper because of the texture. The texture of the watercolor paper is really nice for the pencil. Yeah, that would be cool. Yep, writing in and of itself is this amazing, amazing feat of human creativity. I think that's the one thing that we truly have over any other animal is writing. I don't think any other animals use tools, they build things, they communicate, they have language. I don't think anybody else does writing though. That would be cool though if somebody discovers animals do have writing and we just didn't recognize it or we didn't look close enough or something. Somewhere you could start for learning is Chinese kanji system is the basis. Just like the Roman alphabet is the basis for so many European writing systems, the Chinese kanji system is, well, the ancient one, and then of course it's different now because it's branched out, just like all the different languages, European languages today have the different versions of the Roman alphabet, but yeah, that would be a good foundation because definitely Japan uses Chinese kanji. It's well, that's what kanji means Chinese letter. So some of them are exactly the same, like the first 10 numbers and stuff like that. Other ones are totally different, but Roman alphabet and Chinese kanji have huge influence in writing systems across the world, I think. I mean, I'm not a linguist, so there might be something else I don't know about. Oh, Sarah, hello! Aw, but you're not feeling well. I'm glad to see you for these last few seconds. Aw, hope you feel better. Hopefully it really is just a cold and you'll be good in a couple days. Oh, nice. I see Xy's message about four different writings. Nice. Ah, Hangul. I learned the name of that because I was writing about my one day that I spent in Korea this year. And I'm like, I can't read Hangul because they do use some kanji in Korea too. So I was like, oh, I can read this. This means 100 or whatever. Like, oh, dang it. Ah, cool. You can read so many things with the, so you've got 4 out of 17. Yeah, not bad. That's like a 5th? No, I'm not good with math. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but okay, we're at time, but I wanna, okay, just let me add some, I'll just do it a really rough, quick way to fill in the hair with some graphite. There. Okay, we're at time, so I'm gonna hold this up, show you our final lucky dip. It was really fun to do the markers and just switching through the markers. Not really worrying about what the overall effect is, but just like, I want to use each one and keep moving through them. Plus, really happy, oh, it's still damp. Really happy with the organic texture that the watercolor has taken on. So very nice, I love it, I love it. Love watercolor. I'm trying to show you how this, oh, come on. Look at that texture. It's so good. I love watercolor. It's so nice. Okay. There we go. Oh, Aoife knows it's time to be done. Oh, thank you. Yay. And Sarah used the little cute little emoji. I can't wait to finish the next one. And have a bunch of laser emojis available for everybody. Okay. I've kept you for a couple extra minutes, so I shall end there. I'll be back in a couple days for Chibi Friday, so I hope to see you then. Either way, have a great rest of your day, a great Thursday. Thank you for watching.